Target acquired.
Target spotted. Target spotted.
I'm gonna move up to Gulf 6. Just give me a little bit of cover.
New target acquired. New
Gulf
target
7.
acquired.
Instead of
Alpha.
farming damage, just kill it.
Alpha Alpha. Alpha torsos. Torsos.
Artillery strike online.
Target spotted.
New target.
If you don't have eyes on
acquired.
him, go for the assault. Hotel 7.
Target
Nice kill.
spotted.
That was the dude farming
Target spotted.
this guy instead of helping
New
us.
target acquired.
Juliet's out in the open by himself.
New target acquired.
Alpha's still in the open. Good kill. There you go.
Target spotted.
Juliet. Right torso. Center torso. He's out of ammo. All his weapons are down. Next target.
Target destroyed.
Foxtrot's out in the open by himself. Let's focus on the left side. They don't have a lot of support over here.
Target
New
spotted.
target acquired. Artillery strike online. Artillery strike activated.
Target spotted.
New target acquired. Target destroyed. New target acquired.
I need help. Echo.
New target acquired. Level critical.
Guys, hotel. Go to Hotel 7. That's where the majority of them are.
Charlie, hit him.
New target acquired.
Kappa center torso.
Target destroyed.
Nice kill.
New target acquired. Target acquired.
Bravo.
Target destroyed. New target acquired. Heat level critical. Target destroyed.
Nice work, fellas. Thanks for sticking with me. Alrighty guys, welcome back to the Mech Lab, where we're going to go through the details for the build on the mech I have in front of me, the Clan Hero Medium Ice Ferret Rainbow Crow. Now you already saw the first round of gameplay on Grim Plexus where we did the drop call and everything, so you know what the loadout is, you know exactly how this mech functions out there on the battlefield through the first round of gameplay, but now it's time to go through the overview on this mech. We're going to go through the overview details of this mech, the custom loadout, placement of everything, rationale behind the placement of everything, then we're going to go through the skill tree, wrap it up with the final 2 rounds of gameplay and some final thoughts. So let's head right into the Mech Lab here. Now, first and foremost, I want to point out that I am not very well versed with the ice ferrets, or as everyone else likes to call them, the refrigerators. It does look like a refrigerator. I mean, you guys can admit it literally looks like just a gigantic rectangle with legs. So it's definitely got that aesthetic look to it that's just very unique out there on the battlefield. But what I want to point out first about this mech is that it is the only Ice Ferret variant to offer that ECM hardpoint. And I'm going to go through why that's so interesting in just a second. But apart from that, we only have 5 energy hardpoints. There are no ballistic, no missile, no AMS. So it is strictly an energy boat. It has that ECM hardpoint. And that's where a lot of the appeal came with this mech, because the Ice Ferrets are known for being very tanky mediums. They have very, very fast speeds, especially when you include speed tweak on there. And they have great hitboxes, so they're tough to bring down. And as I mentioned, they do have great armor and great skeletal density as well. So let's head into the loadout itself. So you guys already know what I placed on this mech, but now it's time to go through exactly where all those hard points lie. And, simply go through the rest of the details here. So we have the 3 heavy mediums between the right torso and right arm. There is only 1 energy hardpoint in the right torso, which you can see lies pretty much in line with the top energy mounts between the left and right arm. And then on the left arm, so I have the heavy smalls on the left arm. That's where a majority of your firepower lies, in the arm. So you have to have full armor on each of these arms in order to make this build even viable, or keep it in the battle. Let's put it that way. Now, not only does this mech have an ECM module, or an ECM hardpoint, but it's placed in the center torso. That is very, very unique. I believe it's the only mech currently in the game with the ECM hardpoint in the center torso. So that in and of itself is very critical, because obviously a lot of the times you see the ECM modules in the torsos, and if you lose that torso, then you lose the ECM suite. But now, being in the center torso, if you lose your center torso, you're dead anyway. So it's not even like the ECM is going to be of any kind of, importance to you at that point when you're lying face flat in the dirt. So that is very critical, very, very unique. And the fact that that is the only hardpoint that you can place in there, it's only 1 slot, and you place it right there in the center torso, not taking up any other slots or anything like that, I think is pretty interesting and pretty unique that they decided to place it there. So definitely a win in that category, not only for being the only variant with ECM, but also the placement on it. Now, 45 out of 45 tons are being used on this mech. That's a little glitch. It says 44.9, but it is completely filled to the brim at 45 tons. 66 out of 78 slots, so we do have some extra slots to work with. You just don't have any more tonnage to work with. 306 out of 306 armor. 1.44 is the heat management ratio. Now, as you know, this mech can heat up if you decide to alpha strike with all of these heavy lasers between the smalls and the mediums. Now, so there's definitely going to be some ghost heat added here, but it comes with the mech, so it definitely cools down. It's got 16 double heat sinks, 10 in the engine, 2 on top of the engine, and then 4 that I placed between the torsos. So it does have decent heat management. It does, cool down pretty efficiently if you give it a little bit of time before you start firing them off again. It does have a 43-point alpha. So with all of this stuff being fired at once, which it does have the capacity to do roughly 3 times before you start reaching that heat threshold on a heat neutral or even heat beneficial map, I'll definitely take that, and then sit back and take some time to cool down and everything. But majority of the time until late stages in the game, you're going to be using these heavy mediums, strictly because they provide the most amount of range. Everyone's fresh. You're not tanking with this mech, and you have an optimal range there, as you can see, of 270, not including anything on the skill tree there. But that's enough on the overview of this mech. Let's head over to the skill tree so you can see exactly what I placed on here node-wise. Now, obviously, laser duration is huge. You're using heavy lasers on there, so they have a longer duration and everything, longer burn time. So if we can shorten that up a little bit, that's what we're aiming for here. And again, we're focusing on the laser duration, the heat generation, a little bit of cooldown, and then range. Obviously, we want to get as much range as we possibly can out of this mech, and then also cater to that survival tree. The as I mentioned before, the mistlings. The Ice Ferrets have a lot of armor. They have great skeletal density and stuff like that. So adding on to it, I felt was beneficial in this capacity, and I just wanted to see how it worked, and it seemed to work pretty good. So if you are to take out any nodes, maybe take these off and see how it performs, and then go with either heat containment and stuff like that, and even go through this tree over here with the ECM and the enhanced ECM systems and so forth. But it's entirely up to you how you want to run it. I just wanted to test it out and see how tanky it was, especially with that ECM suite in there, to see if we can make some magic happen out there on the battlefield. Unique build, unique mech. So I wanted to see how it performs with all the other benefits of a regular Ice Ferret. Mobility. We included everything on here, inclusive of speed tweak, kinetic burst. All we left out was a couple hard points here for torso-related stuff like torso pitch. Again, we only have one hard point in the torso, so I'm not too worried about that. Operations. Just went down to improve gyros, just to reduce the cockpit shake if we get hit. And then that extra consumable slot for a double cool shot. In case it does get hot, which, as you guys know, I am very trigger heavy and I have a happy trigger finger. So I do like to use my alpha as much as I possibly can, despite the ghost heat. That's just personal preference, obviously. You could chain fire, but you have to have a longer face time if you decide to go about it that way. I'd rather get a big punch in there and retreat and cool down rather than keep chain firing, and unless I have the ability to face time for a while with the rest of my team maybe providing a distraction. But that's how I wanted to configure it. I guess over time, I'm probably going to try and just see if we could take some of this survival tree and put it more towards some of these other nodes over here, like with operations and sensors and so forth. But that's what I'm running with for now. I literally just came up with this build on the fly, and it seemed to work pretty well. So without further ado, let's head back out onto the battlefield for 2 more rounds of gameplay. One, again, is on a very heat-intensive map, and then we're going to go back to, similar grounds, if you will. So let's head back out there on the battlefield and see how we perform in our upcoming rounds of gameplay with the Rainbow Crow, Ice Ferret Clan Hero. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, here we go. Second round of gameplay is going to take place on Tourmaline Desert, an extremely heat-intensive map here. But as you can see, we're swinging out of Death Valley right now, going towards Echo 7, Echo 8. And wow, I just missed a couple of those ballistic shots, just swinging around the corner, doing a little bit of a zigzag pattern, helping out my friendlies that are pushing around the side here as well. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to push over towards Delta 7, and if there's anyone caught in the back, I'm going to backstab them a little bit, try and just engage just ever so slightly to get these guys uncomfortable, turning their heads around, and maybe just get them split up. Now, I don't have jump jets or anything, so I need to be careful, but right in front of us, we do have this Enforcer right here, and yeah, he's looking right at me, so I got an Alpha strike down, but that did bring me above halfway on my heat threshold, and double striking there. Now we're hitting our heat threshold, and that Enforcer is chasing after us, but I'm trying to signal with my friendlies to come down here. I need their help on this guy if I'm going to get him down, and it looks like he overheated. Oh my gosh, he overheated. I'm going to use my cool shot and Alpha strike in the back, and we get the kill. So a terrible overheat on that Enforcer allows us to get the kill shot there, and now we are going to get swarmed by a Raven and something else over there. Actually, a couple other mechs are joining that Raven. So now we're just going to stick to our ground here. Okay, so there's an Ebon Jag, and it looks like a Mad Cat Mark II. Do not want to be in their line of sight when they start firing. Just going to peer over the sides here, see if we can get some shots down on these guys. The friendlies left, so now it's just, okay, so this Raven that's right in front of us, and he goes down, so my friend is able to take him out. Foxtrot now right in front of us, this Nova, and he's going to get a big shot into that left side, and he's running back towards the rest of his team. He is accompanied by some friendlies, but I am also accompanied by a Hellbringer, so now I'm just going to casually go through, chain firing each of my weapons. Now we're focusing up on this Timberwolf, so we got a couple mechs down here. That Nova went down. This Direwolf is right in front of us, and it looks like he's going to try and get some damage in there. I did pop that other cool shot, and I also launched my Arty Strike, so that's a lot of damage coming in now, especially with the rest of my team helping me out here. 4-zip at this early stage here in the game. Now popping over the hill here, we have that Timberwolf, and we got the kill on him. Very weak center torso, so he goes down. Going for the Hellbringer now. We're going to help out our own Hellbringer and hopefully get some shots down on him. Looking down into the pit here from the fortress, we're not seeing much of anything. That Locust is going up the side of the wall there, and here is the rest of their team. Man, I wish I had another Arty Strike right now. That would have been perfect. It's 5-1 though, and what I'm going to do, instead of trying to face tank and bunch up in the corner of the fortress there, I'm going to help out the cataphract here and just wrap around the side of these guys, go for the back side of that cataphract. He goes down, going for a couple other targets here, so that Mad Cat Mark II, I believe that was, goes down. A Mauler right in front of us. He's not even paying attention to us, but he's got racks, and he's just trying to put down as much damage as he possibly can. Going for that center torso. He turns his back on us. We're going to keep firing into his backside, but he pops forward, and he is down for the kill as well. 10-2. This escalated very, very quickly. Going to go for this Eben Jack now. Not going to try and get any team damage down. Go for that center torso, and there he goes. So we got the kill. Overheated, but we did keep our override engaged, and that is going to end the round. 12-2 is the final score. A great round of gameplay, despite this being a very, very heat-intensive map. Let's see our score here. 3 kills, 6 assists, 3 KMDDs, 517 damage, and 3 components destroyed. So a decent round overall. And when you look at the team stats here, very, very evenly distributed across the board. I did the most damage out there at 517. So that's how you know you have a very, very strong team. Very, very focused, pinpoint damage, critical components, critical shots being made, and getting the kills for the victory. But that's going to do it for round 2. Let's head back out there into the queue for our final round of gameplay and wrap things up. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, here we go. Third and final round of gameplay. We are back on Grim Plexus. So again, very heat neutral. Definitely going to benefit us, especially because you know I like a heavy trigger finger. And the Alpha Strike is definitely going to come in handy here. We're just looking across the map. It is skirmish game mode, so all we have to focus on is killing each other. Plain and simple, just the way I like to play. So we're looking over across, and I see that Mislinks over there. Looks like he's just kind of casually floating around with the rest of his team. I am one of the first people up here towards Fox 7. Just peering around, looking and seeing if there are any UAVs, if any of their lights did actually push forward and try to get a little bit of scouting, try and get some information for their team. I'm looking across the ridge here. So I'm looking across, and I saw Charlie pushing over towards the Gulf 7, Gulf 8 quadrants. Now just looking straight across, not seeing much of anything. But looking off in the distance, we do have the big boys coming in. And they look like they're storming towards Gulf 6. So we're just going to hold here, and it looks like my team is very, very tight-knit. We're very, very close together. So if we murder ball, this could definitely work out in our favor. Now just peering up on top, seeing if there's anyone up on top of the platform here. But now we're just going to check on our flanks. We have this Mislinks over there, Bravo, who looks like he's trying to get some information on us, maybe trying to get a little bit of a flank, just put some damage down on some of our guys who are holding the left side of our formation here. But we're not going to let that happen. Put a big shout down into that Mislinks, going straight for that center torso, and he already has a weak right arm, and he has a bunch of machine guns on there. That is that G variant that everyone likes to use nowadays. That's pretty much the component shredder. And now we're just looking over into the distance, seeing if there's anything over here that we can get our hands on. Maybe get a couple shots down on this Mislinks and whoever else is with him. Just going to hold here for a second, see if he gets a little too aggressive, makes a stupid move, but doesn't look like he's going to bite. So, again, okay, there he comes. Now he is out in the open, and we're putting a big shot down into that center torso. And that right arm is about to come off. I can't see how that thing is hanging on, probably by a thread. But now we're going to look on the flank, a little bit towards the flank. We do have an airstrike that looks like it came down on us, and we're just going to move back towards the rest of the team. No reason to get aggressive for no reason at all, especially by ourselves. Just peeking and peering around the corners, going for that Phoenix Hawk there. He had no idea that we were right in his side, putting a big shot down on his left side, but now his team is starting to get a little aggressive on this side of the platform. This Mauler looks like he might be pushing around the corner, but no, he actually goes back behind a little bit of cover. I'm just peering in between both of these blocks here, and this Jaeger Mech has no idea that we are right there until we started putting down some fire into him, and now he's going to back up yet again. So I'm sticking with the rest of my team, making sure that no one is getting out of position, that no one is unsupported. And right now I feel like our right flank is the one that needs the most help. This Commando looks like he's coming in, trying to put some shots down with those SRM2s, and this Phoenix Hawk is giving him a little bit of support. Don't want to fight them both by myself, because they can run some circles around me, but now switching again back over to the left flank. Looks like these guys got a little bit more aggressive versus our opponents on the right flank. Mauler goes down. That is a big kill for us, so it's 1 zip at this point. Gonna whip around the corner. There's that Mislinks going for that center torso. We got a component destruction there, and he's gonna run towards the rest of his team. All he has, I believe, is that right torso, but unfortunately I get a burn duration on my friendly, but that same friendly is able to get the kill down on that Mislink, so he is out of the battle now. 2-zip is the score. I already put down the arty strike, and there goes the Commando. The Commando came around the corner, didn't even have time to put targeting information on this guy, but we got the kill. Now going for the Stalker. The Stalker is cored up in his center torso and his left torso, so we're going to go for both of those components, try and help out as much as we possibly can, and here come the rest of the team on the right flank. We're getting a big shot down on Golf, and that Stalker did wind up going down. He is getting a little bit of support by Hotel, this Stormcrow, but this Stormcrow is going to get completely overrun, especially by the rest of my friendlies and myself. Just amplifying the damage on that center torso, going for this Jaeger Mech, who's down in the pit here. Echo, he does have a weak left torso, and going for this center torso. Now, we are receiving a little bit of fire from those big boys off in the distance there, but that's not going to stop us. We have a lot of armor to deal here, so now we can tank a little bit even, and that Stormcrow is focusing up on us, putting down some missiles into our right side, but again, not going to phase this bugger. It is a tough mech to come across on the battlefield to get down, and now we're just helping out, amplifying the damage for the rest of the team. As you can see, that Stormcrow is pushing across. We have the Shadow Cat that's with him, and they're both heading towards that plateau. This Shadow Cat isn't even paying attention to us, so I'm getting some big shots into those torsos, and right in front of me, we have this Phoenix Hawk who just sprayed me with a little bit of damage, weakened up my right torso a little bit, but he gets taken down as well. It is 7-2 at this point. I'm going to go for the packet here. Looks like he's trying to get some shots in on me, trying to go for my torsos, but I'm not going to let that happen. And I have some friendlies on the way, putting some damage down into that center torso. Looks like he may have overheated. No, he's just standing there. What is he doing? I guess he just gave up. I'm not entirely sure what was going on, but he gets taken out. It's 8-3 at this point. He just surrendered entirely. Now this Shadow Hawk over here, it just took out 2 friendlies, but finally he goes down as well, so we don't have to worry about him anymore. 9-4 is the current tally, and we're just on a hunt. We're hunting for these remaining 3 mechs, who are all active, mind you, all active out there on the battlefield right now. And we do have a little blip on the screen right there. Hotel is coming around, and he does have a friend with him, this Stormcrow. How was the Stormcrow still in the battle? I thought he was going to get taken out a while ago, and there he goes, gets taken down. Going for this Hellbringer on the backside, going through that back armor if we can, and my friendly is shooting me in the back. What are you guys doing? Be careful. And we get the kill on the Hellbringer, so it does pay off. Face tanking and going for this guy in his back, despite getting a lot of team damage from my friends. Going for the Shadow Cat now, taking off some of those components there. We took off at least 1/3 of his loadout, and my other friendly is able to wrap up the final kill of the round. Final score is 12-6 here on Grim Plexus Skirmish game mode, but a ton of fun. Let's see the totals for the round. We got 2 kills, 8 assists, 6 KMDDs, 812 damage with 8 components destroyed. A very, very healthy round. Excellent job again by another phenomenal team, and you could tell just by the scores and the damage and everything like that that this team was very focused. They helped each other out on 2 flanks. We sealed off both flanks and pretty much just trapped them. I mean, simple as that. We came in on both sides. They were caught in the middle, distracted on both ends, and ultimately we were able to pinpoint our damage, get the kills, and get the win. But that's going to do it for this episode of Mech Warrior Online. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, check out the links in the description, which include my Twitch page in case you guys want to follow on there for all the live streams, Patreon, PayPal, all the rest of it in case you want to help out the channel a little bit from a financial perspective. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning into this episode of Mech Warrior Online and supporting the channel in any capacity that you're providing. I really enjoyed this mech. I have a lot of fun with the Ice Ferret now, and now I see why there's a cult around this mech, and you can see it out there on the battlefield. With this loadout, obviously I'm going to be messing around with it some more, messing with some different builds, messing with the skill tree a little bit, but that's going to wrap it up, at least for this time, out there on the battlefield. And the Rainbow Crow with that ECM hardpoint in the middle. Thank you guys so much again for all the support. I really do appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you all on the next one. Take care, guys.